Hey everyone, it's Brooke here. I'm so excited to do another live stitch out with you. Today we are going to be working with our watch and stitch, and we are going to be making pin cushions. So the first step in our design is you're going to want to hoop your stabilizer. I am using a no-show mesh stabilizer for my design, and I'm going to go ahead. I have it in this little hoop right here. Our pin cushions come in one size, so I'm using a smaller hoop for today's tutorial. Now I'm going to go ahead and run my first machine step, which will be the placement stitch for our batting. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. As always, I love joining all of you on these lives, and I'm so excited to be here. I have a couple examples of our pin cushions that I'm going to hold up for you here. They come in different styles of embroidery motifs on them, and also folded fabric. So today we're going to be working with our folded fabric technique, our standard embroidery, and we will be completing our wonderful designs semi in the hoop. So we'll get to that in a minute. Now I have finished running the squaring stitch, and it is going to look just like a square. That's what all of our designs are shaped like for our pin cushions. I'm going to go ahead and place my batting over top of our squaring stitch. Be sure to cover it completely. If you'd like to secure it in place, sewing tape is always a good option. So I'm going to go ahead and just tape that down and run my next machine step, which will be the tacking stitch for my batting. Now for this watch and stitch, you can see that we used semi of a similar theme with these. We have some neutral tones, some greens, but I decided to go outside of the box and use some of the more fancier decorative cottons that we have here at Anita. So for today's project, we are going to be playing around with different shades of white and black. I thought this would be a cool way to show you a different semi-tonal way of creating your design. Just a little, inspiration for your own piece. So now that we have finished running the tacking stitch for our batting, we're going to go ahead, remove our hoop from the machine, and we're going to use a pair of sharp curved tip applique scissors to trim around the excess batting close to the tacking stitch line. I hope everybody is having a great day. It is super sunny and warm here in Charlotte, North Carolina, so I was very happy about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial with me as we continue throughout. Don't forget to like the video if you are happy with your tutorial. Now I have finished trimming my batting along all four sides close to the tacking stitch line. I will now place my hoop back into the machine, and we are going to run our placement stitch for our first set of applique. Now I'm calling this our applique, as some of you who have been with us for a while may know that when we're doing our folded fabric, our first step is usually a standard, what we would call a standard applique, or a cornerstone. So we are running that right now. Let's see, I think I'm going to use this fun white fabric first. So I just wanted to show you that our cornerstone or first set of standard applique will have the whole outline of our design. We're going to go ahead and place our fabric over top just as you would a regular standard applique technique. So cover your placement stitches completely, and for this one we are going to secure it in place with some tape. You may notice that I am using a hot pink Floriani thread for this project. I'm using this thread so that you are able to see my lines perfectly from the camera, and also as we are going along, you won't be able to see them when we have our folding stitch. So now I'm placing my hoop back in the machine. I'll run my next machine step, which will be the tacking stitch for my applique. I hope you all are enjoying our Watch and Stitch lives. Today we are doing the pin cushion. In case you were just tuning in, I will be doing our butterfly design. Now this collection comes with 5 designs, the pin cushion in general. It is awesome. There's a bunch of different stuff. Here we have some stars and swirls. We have some leaves, and this one, which is my personal favorite, says "So Fun" on it with some scissors, which is really cool. So now that my tacking stitch has finished running, I'm going to go ahead, remove my hoop from the machine. I'm going to remove my sewing tape, and I'm going to use my scissors to trim around the edges of my applique.
Brooke, you let them know if they have any questions that they can ask them.
Do you guys have any questions about the Watch and Stitch or folded fabric or anything? If you have any questions, please comment down below. I have a wonderful crew here who will be there to answer any of your questions, and I'm here as well to answer anything you might have. So I will show you what I did here. I am leaving excess fabric on the bottom and the top of our design. When we come to our last step, we will be placing our back fabric on top. I just want to make sure that everything is secure and we have enough seam allowance for everything. You can see I also decided to tape down those edges that are untrimmed. That way it doesn't get stuck underneath the presser foot. So I'm going to go ahead and run my next step, which will be the placement stitch for our next piece of fabric. Now, while my placement